Okay, greetings one and all, and welcome to day number 4. Yes, day number 4. This has to be week 9, fall 2024 of our journey together. And it's definitely a delight to have each and every one of you here for this evening's classes. Let's begin. Let's head up. Today is the 31st of October. The subject is science. And we're going to be looking at metals versus non-metals. Metals versus non-metals. So we looked at elements last week, and we said that elements are only made of one kind of what? One kind of what? Metals are only made of one kind of what? Start with A. Not metals. Elements are made of only one kind of what?
Atoms.
Atoms. Very good. So oxygen, the element oxygen is only made of oxygen atoms. The element carbon is only made of carbon atoms. The element aluminum is only made up of aluminum atoms. It's pure, right? Today we're going to be talking about metals and non-metals. And let's start with metals, right? The first thing we know about metals, so let's talk about metals. We're going to look at their characteristics. Yes.
My book is almost done.
That's good. All right, the first thing we know about metals is that they are lustrous. Lustrous, or what's another word for lustrous? They are what? Shiny. Shiny. All right. So metals are shiny, lustrous. For example, gold is shiny. Silver is shiny. Those are all metals. So metals are lustrous. They are usually solids and they can be polished. All right. So metals are lustrous. So that's why people use metals for jewelry, because it's shiny, it's dazzling, right? It makes you look pretty. And it makes you look magnificent.
Most of the jewelry I own has silver in them.
Silver, okay.
It makes you look gracious.
Yeah, it makes you look gracious. It makes you like brings out you. So that's what we mean by lustrous. Lustrous or shiny. The next thing we know about metals is that they are good conductors of electricity and heat. All right, when we say that they are good conductors of electricity and heat, that means that, let's say, for example, you have a spoon. If you notice the spoon, right? The spoon have a metal end and it have like a rubber end, right? And the reason why that's the case is because if you touch the metal part, let's say that rubber part is moved and you just touch the metal part, would it be hotter or colder? Which would it be?
Hotter.
It'll be much more hotter, right? And I don't know if you have,
Me and my cousin had a metal hanger before, and we kept on turning it and turning it and turning it. And then when we touched it, it was very, very hot.
Yeah, metals are good conductors of electricity and heat. That's why metals are used in pots. So all of your pots and anything like used for the stove and stuff, they use metals to make them. Why? Because metals, they're easy to get hot. And they're also, if you look at the wires, right? So wires are made up of copper. So we have copper wires. And the reason why I use copper is because copper is a good conductor of heat. I mean, a good conductor of electricity. It means that it allows electricity to pass easily. That's what we mean by good conductors of heat. So it allows, right? It allows heat and electricity. One second. It allows heat and electricity to pass through it effectively and quickly, all right? That's what I mean by it's a good conductor of heat and electricity. All right, write this down for me, please. Give me 1 second, 1 second. Come right back. All right, so it's a good conductor of electricity and heat, and it allows, so that basically means it allows heat and electricity to pass through it effectively and quickly. That's what we mean by it's a good conductor. So these are all properties of metals. Another thing about metals is that they are malleable. Y'all got me right?
Yes, sir.
So
Okay.
I can hear you.
So malleable means that it can be hammered into sheets. They are not brittle. Meaning it will not shatter if hit with a hammer. So if you have a hole like a coin and you hit it with a rock or you hit it with something, it's not easily broken, right? It's very strong, right? So malleable, it can be hammered into sheets and still keeping its uniform, like it's still keeping its shape, all right? Malleable. So if you look at it, right? So let's say, for example, we have like a block of gold. Let me just show you. Let's say, for example, we have, let's say this is, let's say if we have this, so this is gold, right? Gold is what? Gold is what? Is it a metal or non-metal?
metal.
Metal. What gives it away? How do you know it's a metal?
Because it's hard.
It's hard. But look at it, just look at it. It's what? Is it
It's because it's
Shiny,
is it
unbreakable.
lustrous.
is it is it lustrous
No,
and
it's
shiny?
yes, sir.
It
Yes,
is,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
It is, right? Anyone want a block of gold?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir. Actually, I don't really want it because you can't really spend it. But I'd want
Oh,
gold.
you can't spend it? Okay then. Well, give me a block of gold then.
I want gold, but I want an actual dollar to be representing it.
No, if you get if you get gold, you could easily trade it, right? And get it money for it. Yes, easily. That's why when people if they could sell their jewelry and then they go to the pawn shop and they still give them money for it. So if you have gold, you could trade it into money, right? Because gold is money, right? Just money in a different form. But so we have this block of gold and I could take this block of gold and I could make gold coins out of it. So all I need to do is hammer it. I could hammer it into thin pieces. So that's what I mean by malleable. Malleable means, let me just show you all. Malleable means that I could take it and it could be hammered into a sheet. That's why we see metals are used in when we're making like coins, because look at this. So you have this gold block, right? And you could hammer it and it could turn into this gold coin, right? So malleable is a physical property of metals that defines their ability to be hammered.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit. Maya sent some.
Malleability is a physical property of metals that defines their ability to be hammered, pressed, or rolled into thin sheets without breaking. So that's what I mean by malleable. We could take it in a block form and we could hammer it down, we could press it and we could roll it into thin sheets and it's not gonna break and apart like powder. Go ahead, I think Legacy is trying to say something.
Yes, sir. Maya said that she could not hear you.
Ooh, Maya?
Yes, sir.
Maya, you can't hear me?
No, sir. She said, I don't know if you're talking, but I cannot hear you.
That's Maya. Is she still in the meeting? Maya. Okay. Okay. All right, I don't know. I think maybe internet. So malleable means it could be hammered into sheets and it's not brittle. It will not shatter. You have certain things like glass. Glass is not malleable because if you hit glass with a hammer, what's gonna happen?
It will shatter.
It will shatter.
It was shot into pieces.
It will shatter into pieces. But metals are not like that. Metals, if you hit it with a hammer, it could bend, it could be pressed, it could be rolled, and it's not gonna shatter and break into pieces, right? So that's what we mean by malleable. It could be hammered, it could be pressed, it could be molded, it could be rolled into thin pieces. Let me just show you another one. This is another one. This shows it as well. This is malleability. So we have this gold and we could hit it or press it into a coin shape, right? That's not only gold, but you also do it with copper. You can also do it with silver. So I have silver coins. So we could press it and we could roll it into thin sheets and it's still gonna keep its form. That's like, anyone familiar with aluminum foil, right?
Yeah,
Aluminum foil, yeah. Aluminum foil, yeah, that's a metal. But even though it's a metal, like the aluminum sheets, even though it's a metal, still, it's not, like it could be formed in that thin shape, right? In that thin sheet and still not like shatter. Now you could tear it, obviously, but it's not shattering. That's what we mean by it's malleable. Another thing about metals is that it's ductile. Ductile. Now ductile means that it can be drawn into a wire. That's what we mean by ductile. It can.
Mr. Petit, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I can hear you for a moment. Ductile means it can be drawn into a wire. For example, copper wire. So lustrous. So metals are lustrous or shiny. They are good conductors of electricity. They are malleable, which means that we could make them into sheets by pressing them, by using a hammer. And they are ductile, which means that we could turn them into wires if we want to. For anyone ever got shocked before?
I have. Yes, sir. Plenty of times.
Plenty of times, right?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So,
I got shocked at school today.
oh wow. Now, everyone ever seen a bare wire, like just the metal without the rubber on it?
Yes, sir.
Ever seen that?
Yes,
That's,
sir, I have.
yeah, that's a metal you're looking
No,
at.
sir.
Never seen it? Let me show you. So let's say, for example, we have this. So we could take this gold or copper. It's a metal. And we could turn it into a wire. That's pretty cool, right? That's what we mean by it's ductile. Ductile means that it could be drawn into a wire. We could form it into a wire if we want to. So malleable means it could be turned into a sheet, right? But like a sheet of paper or a round coin. That's what malleable means. But ductile means that it could be turned into a wire. So we have this metal from in the earth that we could that we could form into a wire. That's what we mean by ductile. All right. So ductile means it could be turned into a wire. Malleable means that it could be hammered into a sheet, right? Like a sheet of paper or a sheet of foil. Okay. The next thing we need to know about metals is that they have they are strong and tough, right? They have intense, or they have, like you say, they have high tensile strength. They also have high melting point. So if you try to melt, if you try to melt a metal, it's gonna take very long to melt it unless you have like extreme heat, right? So it has a high melting point. Water don't have a high melting point because, you know, you just put on the stove and it just melts. But if you have a solid, so if you have a metal, it has a high melting point, which means that, yes.
How is water supposed to
Well, when I say water, I mean water as a solid. So like ice, right? If you, yeah, like ice. Ice easy to melt because, you know, just leave it out and it can melt. Or I've put on the stove, it can melt. You don't need a lot of high temperature for ice to melt. But if you're trying to melt a solid, I mean, if you're trying to melt a metal, you need very high temperatures.
Yes, sir, Mr. Petit.
To melt a solid, to
I
melt a
remember.
metal. Go ahead.
I remember one time when I was melting ice, and the ice that I had, it was very hard to melt.
It was very hard to melt. Yeah. Depending on but in general, you don't need high temperatures to melt ice though. You don't need high temperatures to melt ice. Not the high temperatures you need for metals, no. All right. So those are the properties of metals. Mhm.
So you can use lava to melt metal, right?
If say you use lava to melt metal,
Yes,
you
sir.
like inside the lava, like, and you know lava comes from a volcano. Inside the volcano, you're talking about high temperatures. Inside there, you could melt a metal. You can. So Madeline, give me one property of a metal.
Pardon?
Give me one property of a metal.
Property?
Like one characteristics of metal.
Shiny?
That's shiny. Very good. What's another word for shiny?
Lustrous?
Very good. And Winnett, give me another property of metals.
Pardon?
Give me another property of metals. Something that we know about metals.
I'm not pronounced.
Which one? Number one or two?
2.
Conductor.
Conduct.
Okay, so what do we know about metals? They are what?
Lustrous.
They're lustrous. What else?
They are strong and tough.
They are strong and tough. Very good.
They are malleable.
They are malleable.
They have high melting points.
They have high melting points. What else? What else? The D1.
Ductile.
They are ductile. Lincoln, what do we mean? What do we mean by what do we mean by metals are malleable? What does that mean?
Malleable means it can be hammered into sheets.
Very
They are
good.
not brittle. Will not shatter if hit with a hammer.
Very good. And Trinity, what do we mean by metals are ductile? What does that mean?
It can be drawn into a wire, for example, copper wire.
Very good. So that's metals. Let's talk about non-metals. All right, that's metals. And let's talk about non-metals now.
Excuse me, Miss Petite.
Uh-huh.
Is Seth here?
No, I don't think that is that, no. Non-metals. Okay, the next thing we know, first thing we know about metals is that non-metals is that they're dull, which is the opposite of shiny, right? They're dull. The next thing we know is that they are poor conductors of heat, of electricity, and heat. For example, wood, right? Wood is a poor conductor of heat and electricity because if someone is getting shocked, you could easily just put a wood, like stop them from being shocked just by pushing them with a wood, because the wood is not going to allow the current to pass through it easily, right? Non-metals are not malleable, which means that they cannot be hammered into sheets. They are not ductile, which means that they cannot be drawn into a wire. They are not strong and tough, but because they are weak and brittle. And then they have a low melting point. Low melting point. So basically, non-metals is like the opposite of metals. They are dull. They are poor conductors of heat and electricity. That's why you see, if you look at your spoon and you put it in the spoon that you use to cook with, notice that at the back of it, it has a rubber end. The reason why it have a rubber end is because that rubber is an insulator, right? It's a non-metal. It's not going to allow the heat to pass through it. So that's why it's not going to be hot. They're not malleable. They're not malleable because they cannot be hammered into sheets. They're too brittle for that. They're not ductile. They cannot be drawn into wire. They're weak and brittle, and they have a low melting point. And so that's what we know about non-metals. Where's Gianna?
So
Give me two things about non-metals.
it's dull and not malleable.
Very good. And Legacy, give me two things about non-metals.
Non-metals are ductile and poor conductors of electricity.
Very good. And Herman, give me two things about non-metals.
Non-metals are poor conductors of electricity and heat,
Very good.
and weak brittle.
Weak and what?
Weak and brittle.
Very good. Weak and brittle. Very good. They are weak and brittle. All right. How many persons have this written down as yet? If you have this written down, please let me know.
I do. I do.
I'm not done yet.
Okay, if you have this written
I'm
down,
not done.
if you have this written down, take a picture of it and send it to me via WhatsApp before we move on to social studies. So again, if you have this written down, take a picture of it and send it to me via WhatsApp. Madeline, what do we mean by metals are malleable? What does that mean?
It means they can be hammered into shapes.
Very good. Allura, where's Allura? Are you writing this down? Allura. Okay. Lincoln, where's Lincoln?
Yes, sir?
You sending in your work now?
No, sir. Can I go get my mommy's phone real quick?
Yes, you can. Lynette,
Thank you. Yes, sir.
give me two things we know about nonmetals.
That they're dull and not ductile.
Very good. Tajane, where's Tajane?
I'm here.
You ready sending your work?
I'm set. Yes, sir.
Ready sending your
Mr. Fatigue, I'm finished.
I can't. Oh, I can see you now. Okay, you send in your work. Trinity.
No, sir.
You need to send in your work. Take a picture of it and send it to me. Okay, I can see you now, Tajane.
Excuse me, Miss Petit.
Go ahead.
I sent in my work already.
Yeah, I see it.
I sent mine too.
Yeah, I got Asia one. I got Tajane one. I got Lincoln one. That's it. The rest of you need to send in your work.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Go ahead.
We're getting our spelling bee results tomorrow.
That's excellent.
And I also finished writing my speech.
Your speech is already finished?
Yes, sir.
This is for RK, right? Religious knowledge?
Yes, sir. I started it yesterday.
Okay, excellent. Let me know how that goes, please. Where's Najara? Najara, she isn't coming today?
She was trick-or-treating.
Okay.
So, I don't know if she's here.
I thought you was gonna go with her. I thought all two of y'all was gonna be absent today.
Yes, sir, I did. But I ended up I went with a car, so I ended up.
Okay, you didn't take long. Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow I have an assembly and about I can be a head girl or a deputy. So.
Oh, you mean like that?
Mr. Petit.
What school this is? Sonia. Not Sonia. I called you by your mother's name. Maya. What school this is?
Carlton E. Francis.
Carlton E. Francis. Okay. Well, I wish you all the best, and I hope that you are a very good leader. Okay.
That's what.
Yes.
Mr. Fatigue.
Yes, Trinity.
I mean, Miss Spanish club.
I can't hear you. You have to talk to me. I can't hear you.
I said I'm in the Spanish club, and I'm the director of arts and dance.
You? You sure, Trinity?
Sure.
All
I
right.
don't want none else.
All right.
Excuse me, Miss Petit.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm head boy for my school,
What school is this?
Morristown Primary.
Head boy?
Yes, sir.
That is so excellent. That is excellent, man. Make sure you're a good leader, right? And a good example. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Good. So let's begin. Let's continue with the last thing we were on for this one was on the pirates. And we talk about the life of a pirate. We talk about how they, they were sea robbers. They attacked. They took the ships. They were lawless. They were bloodthirsty. Go ahead.
Yes, please.
No, I'm writing yet. I'm still on the. I'm still on. I'm writing yet.
No,
So
it's
they.
not.
My screen is black. Okay, let me share again. Oh, now can you see it?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. All right. So they were bloodthirsty. They wore fashionable clothing. They had pistols. They had swords, axes, knives, and all that stuff, right? That's the pirates. We mentioned some famous pirates like Edward Teach, who's also known as Blackbeard, right? Captain John Rockman, also known as Calico Jack. And then we had Mary Read, another female pirate, okay?
And Bonnie.
Anne Bonny, yes, Anne Bonny. We'll talk about that. Today we're gonna talk about Woodes Rogers and his work to get rid of the pirates and what did he do and stuff like that. So let's talk about Woodes Rogers. Woodes Rogers was the first royal what? The first royal what?
Governor.
The first royal governor of the Bahamas. Asia, you have your hand up?
Never mind.
Okay. Okay. Y'all finished with this slide?
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
in number
sir.
5.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Herman, I put the rest in the chat. So if you need it, you could go on that. Today, the subject is what? We're looking at social studies. I'm looking at the topic is Woodes Rogers. So as a result of the failure of proprietary government, so proprietary government is basically when the Bahamas was basically run and governed by these Lord proprietors,
Excuse
right?
me, Mr. Pete.
Go ahead.
Can I get some water, please?
Yes, you can. So when the Bahamas was governed by the Lord proprietors. So that failed. That ended up being a failed experiment. And the reason why is because the Lord proprietors didn't really truly have the best interests of the Bahamas at heart. They just wanted to make a lot of money. So proprietary government failed, and the governors who they sent, Madeline, set up the governors that they brought was not, the best. And so as a result of the failure of the proprietary government, crown colony government was introduced. Why was crown colony government introduced? Anyone know? I just said it right now. I just said it. Because what type of government failed? Okay, let me repeat myself. So I said that proprietary government failed. And so now they introduced crown colony government because proprietary government had failed. So why was crown colony government introduced?
Because the proprietary
Because
government failed.
Because the proprietary government failed.
Exactly, because of the failure of the proprietary government. Now, like I said, it failed because the Lord proprietors had their own self-interest, right? They didn't really have the interest of the Bahamas at heart, so that's why it failed. So let me say crown colony government, what that means, let me erase that. So Crown colony government means crown colony government. Crown colony government is a government that was appointed. Hello, Xavier.
Good afternoon, Mr. Petit.
Yes.
He come into class today, but I won't be able to interact or anything like that because they have a series of school assignments that I have to turn in tomorrow.
All right, no problem.
Yes, sir, but I'll attend and be able to listen and stuff like that though, but I'll just be working on this.
All right, no problem. Thanks for letting me know.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, King from England. So crown colony government is the government that is instituted or that is brought about by the crown. And when we say the crown, we mean the king and queen of England. So crown colony government was introduced. Crown colony government is a government that was appointed by the crown. So England basically took over. They're like, you know what? Y'all messing up things in the Bahamas. We are going to take over and we're going to try to make it a little better. And they appointed Woodes Rogers. So Woodes Rogers was chosen. So Woodes Rogers was chosen or appointed as the first royal governor of the Bahamas by King George I. So who was the first royal governor of the Bahamas?
Woodes Rogers.
Who was the first royal governor of the Bahamas?
By King George.
Who was the first royal governor of the Bahamas?
King George.
Who was the first royal governor of the Bahamas?
King George. Woodes Rogers.
Woodes
Woodes
Rogers.
Rogers. He was appointed by King George I, right? The first. But he was the first, Woodes Rogers was the first royal governor of the Bahamas. Now, when he came to the Bahamas, or when he came to Nassau, it was in a terrible state. So Nassau was in a terrible state. So when he came to Nassau,
Excuse me, Mr. Petit. Asia said that she cannot hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Legacy?
Oh yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Where's Asia? Asia said, okay. Yeah, leave and rejoin. That'd be better. So Nassau is in a terrible state. So number one, there was the land and sea was overturned or overrun by pirates. Number two, there was no government. There was no government. So there was no law and order. Number three, Nassau was completely defenseless. Nassau was completely defenseless. Number four, garbage was what? Garbage was
Everywhere, and the roads were overgrown.
yes, very good. Garbage was almost everywhere, and the roads were overgrown and unkept.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Mm-hmm.
In this thing, it's saying that the roads is overgrown. Did they have cars then?
They didn't have cars. No, definitely didn't have cars, but you still need spaces where, you know, they have like, you know, obviously they used to get around using animals and stuff like that, like horses and stuff like that. You still need spaces where they could, you know, where they could walk and roam. So you don't want everywhere filled with bush, then where's the clear path, right? So you still need that.
Yes, sir. I see now.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
There were,
You made a mistake on number 2.
there was no government there. Thank you. Thank you. There were very few inhabitants. All right. So those are the four problems. Winnette, where's Winnette?
Yeah.
Tell me one of the problems that Nassau had when Woodes Rogers came.
The land and sea was run over by pirates.
Very good. Madeline, give me another problem.
Pardon?
Give me another problem that the Bahamas had when Woodes Rogers came.
I don't think I was here last time.
No, it's right there. When he came to Nassau, it was in a terrible state. She said that one of the reasons why it's in a terrible state because the land and sea was overrun by pirates. Give me another problem.
Okay.
It's right there. It's right there. Read number 2.
There was no government.
Yes. So let me ask you that question again. Nassau was in a terrible state. Give me one reason why Nassau was a terrible state at Woodes Rogers' arrival.
Because there was no government.
Yes, because there was no government. Legacy, give me another reason why Nassau was in a terrible state.
Because there were very few inhabitants.
Very good. Herman, give me another reason why Nassau is in a terrible state.
Because there was no president. There's no government.
Very good. There's no government. Trinity, give me another reason why Nassau is in a terrible state.
Because NASA was completely defenseless.
Very good. Nassau was completely defenseless. Lincoln, give me another reason why Nassau is in a terrible state. I can't hear you.
Because the land and sea were overrun by pirates.
Very good. And where's Gianna? I can't hear from Gianna. Where is Alora? Can you hear me, Alora?
Yes, sir.
Nassau is in a terrible state. Give me one reason why Nassau is in a terrible state at Woodes Rogers' arrival.
There are very few inhabitants.
Very good. And Tajane, read number 4.
Number 4. Garbage was almost everywhere, and the roads were overgrown and unkept.
Very good. So this is Woodes Rogers. He come to this particular place to govern. It's in disarray. It's in a mess. And so he have to make some solutions to solve these problems. And so in order to solve, so Woodes Rogers decided to solve these problems. So what did he do for the pirates? Well, to solve the pirates problem.
He never
What?
He decided to get his main aim was to get rid of all the pirates and bring law and order.
Very good. So he offered pardon to pirates who accepted it, and those who refused, were hunted down. I just say hunted down sounds like evil. They were captured.
Mr. Petit, that sounds just as bad.
and hung. All right. All right, good. Hunted down sound like you're like an animal.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Uh-huh.
What, did they stop doing royal governors, or when did they stop?
Oh, that's a good question. So we still have governors, like we have governor general and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But we're
so
talking about the first royal governor underneath the crown colony government, right? That's what he was. But we still have governors today, but it's not the same.
so was there any more royal governors, or he was
Yeah,
the only
he was
ever?
the only one. After him, there was another guy who came, John Fenney. He was the second royal governor that was appointed. So he wasn't the only one.
Yes,
Okay. Next, so he offered pardon to pirates who accepted it, and those who refused were captured and hung.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Yes, go ahead.
How did he get permission to go and hunt down all these people and stuff?
Remember who appointed him? Yeah, he was appointed by King George I. So he had authority. He not only had authority, but he also had backing because the king and queen was backing him. So he had authority to do it. So in order to, remember there was no government, so he established and organized a firm government. Remember Nassau was defenseless, so what he did was, anyone ever heard of Fort Nassau? Never heard of
Yes.
Fort?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Ever heard of
Yes,
Fort?
sir.
Anyone ever been to Fort Nassau?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
No?
Sir,
No?
I
Okay,
did.
you ever been to it? Okay, so the fort was in this terrible state, so he repaired. I'm going to show you Fort Nassau. He repaired Fort Nassau. Someone mic is on.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Go ahead.
Isn't the F supposed to be capitalized?
Where?
Fort Nassau.
Yeah, that's true. He repaired Fort Nassau. More guns. He provided it. Or he supplied it. Supplied the fort with more guns and soldiers.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit. I'm just asking, but didn't Miss Rogers build the forts back? Because they were broken down, damaged.
Yeah, that's what repair means, right? it's kind of like a renovation. So it was in need of repair. So what he did was him and his partner spent about 90,000, and they had to borrow extra money to rebuild the town and the fort and to maintain the soldiers. Like I said, the walls of the fort were repaired, more guns were mounted, and troops were also set up inside the fort to help, right? So he really helped to increase the defense. So that's what he did for so remember, it was overrun by pirates, so he
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
go ahead.
Can you please zoom in your screen?
Okay, let me zoom in. Okay. Remember, it was overrun by pirates, so he offered pardon, or he captured the pirates. It was there was no government, so he established a government. There was no real good defense, so he, bulk up the defense, made sure that the walls were repaired, the fort was repaired, they had more guns and stuff there. And when we said that garbage was there, right? So what he did was he used the pirates to clean up Nassau. So settlers and ex-pirates.
So basically, the pirates who decided to not be pirates anymore, their punishment was cleaning up the island.
Yes, that's exactly right. So settlers, but not only them, but also the people who lived there. He made sure that everyone would clean up the place. So settlers and ex-pirates were made to clear overgrown parts clean up garbage, and clean up garbage from public spaces. And then 5, there were few inhabitants, so Rogers gave, oh, sorry, I can't say it right. Rogers gave every new settler 120 square feet of land and encouraged them to build a house on the land using local timber. So to encourage the people to actually live there, every new settler that came, he gave them 120 square feet of land. So all this he did to make the place better, right? Organize it, encourage law and order, establish law and order, ensure that it's a clean space, clean environment, and just making sure that it was better than how it was before. Do you know that there's a statue of Woodes Rogers in Nassau? I don't know if y'all ever saw it.
I see it before.
Sorry,
Petit.
there's a statue of Woodes Rogers. It's in front of, let me show you all that. It's in front of this hotel, right in Nassau. Let me show you all that. So this is a nice statue that they built. Oh, let me see if I can enlarge the picture.
And in front of the old hotel, what they just rebuilt.
Exactly. You know the name of the hotel?
I forget, but I've been there before.
You've been there before, okay. So this is the picture of him. Let me see if I can get a better picture. Okay, good. It's a good one. There we go. They have him with his sword. This is Woodes Rogers. All right. the first royal governor of the Bahamas. A statue of him.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Hmm.
How did the King of England know that Woodes Roger even existed?
Well, before he was before he was royal governor, he had a lot of success. Like he was a navigator. Like he wasn't just like a nobody. Like people didn't know him. He was already a good, reputable person, a man of good character. Would he believe that he could have, done the job effectively? And so that's why he was chosen, in fact, right? Because of what he had done in past wars and in past experiences that England had. So yeah, they knew him. They knew him. So he fought bravely in the British War between Spain. So they knew him. He played an integral part of their country's success as well. So they knew him as well. So it's on West Bay Street. And it's in front of British Colonial Hotel. That's the name of the hotel that is in front of. All right. In front of the British Colonial Hotel. You can find it once you go there. Uh-huh.
Are you still gonna show us a picture of Fort Nassau?
Oh yeah, Fort Nassau. That's correct.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Uh-huh.
What is Fort Nassau?
Say it again.
What is Fort Nassau?
I'm
The
gonna show
place
you.
in Nassau?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. You've never been to Fort Nassau?
I never heard of it. All these
Never.
years.
Oh, that's like a fort. Okay, a fort is there to defend. So let me show you all a picture of it. Let me see if this picture would be. This is Fort Nassau. Right, and as you can see,
I've been there before.
been there before.
I've been down there
I've
before.
been there before.
Yeah,
I
you
even got dresses from the area on the side.
yeah, you see the cannons. And people know you have defenders.
I played with the cannons before.
Yeah, this is a good place to come. If you haven't been
That was
there,
in 2022.
yeah. So it's the forts. Okay. Fort Nassau. Pretty nice place. So this is so obviously here you have the cannons there to defend, the soldiers in there, they're looking out, making sure that everything is safe and sound. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead with the questions. Let's go ahead and answer. You all finished writing this down or no?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No? Okay.
No, sir.
I'll put this on the side. All right, let me y'all should be finished with the first one, I think. So let me put this on this side. Y'all finished with the first one? Because I moved that. I moved
Yes, sir.
You finished with the first side?
No, sir.
No? What you want?
Yes, sir.
Let me move the first one. Allura, what you want? Before I move it. Allura, what you want?
The first part.
You want this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in the chat, right? So for those of you who are still writing, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Quickly write down these notes and then you can begin answering the questions. But I'm gonna put it in the chat for you. So just look in the chat and then you'll see the picture and then you can write down the rest of the notes. But the rest of us who are finished, let's move on to the graded exercise.
Do you want us to send the notes first?
No, you send the notes along with the along with the graded exercise. Okay, graded exercise number 1. I'm not gonna give you a lot of questions because we have limited in time, so I'm not gonna make it long. So question number 1 is give another word Metals are lustrous. Give another word for lustrous. What does it mean for a metal to be ductile? I just have to say malleable. What does that mean? Number 3, what was the name of the first royal governor of the Bahamas, and who appointed him? Number 3, state 2 problems that NASA had before the arrival of the first royal governor. All right, I'm just gonna give y'all 4 for now. Quickly finish those. Maya, what number you on? Maya, what number you on?
Oh, I thought you said Madeline.
Go ahead,
Number
Maya.
number 2.
Number 2, okay. Tashani, what number you on?
I'm on number 2 also.
Okay. Legacy, are you on the questions, yeah?
No, sir. I'm on the number 5 on the other one though.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Mm-hmm.
Track was canceled until today.
Okay, track was canceled today, okay. And that's good. At least you get a full, at least you get able to get at least a full lesson today.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Go ahead.
Are we gonna get more than 4?
Send the first 4. Change the units. X. Trinity, what number you on?
I am number 4.
Number 4, okay.
Number 4 for the not the graded exercise.
Oh, you on the notes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm on the graded exercise now, Mr. Petit.
All right. That's good.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Mm-hmm.
You made a mistake on number 4.
What happened?
It says state 2 problems that NASA before the arrival of the first royal governor.
And I saw faced. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit. Can I turn off my camera now because I'm using my iPad and my iPad can send the notes. So
Okay.
can I send
All right, no
my
problem, no problem, no problem. When I'm on?
Mr. Petit,
Yes, I'm Trinity.
I'm on my graded.
Say it again.
I'm on the graded exercise.
All right, good, perfect.
Excuse me,
Lynette,
Mr. Petit.
yes, Lincoln.
I'm on the graded exercise now.
That's good. And when I'm on?
Going on to number 4.
Asia, that's good. Asia, when I'm on?
answering number 3.
Answer number 3. Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit. Can I please open the door for my family, please?
Yes, you can. Maya, you finish? You finished, Maya?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit. I'm going on to number 3 now.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, sir. I'm trying.
That's good. Number 5 is in the chat. Maya.
Excuse me, Mr. Boutique.
Go ahead.
I'm on number 3.
Number 3 on the great exercise.
So,
Okay. Where's Maya? Number 5. No, that's good. Where's Maya? Maya, number 5 and 6 is in the chat. Allura, what number you on?
Yes, sir.
Allura, what number you on? Allura, what number you on? Herman, what number you on?
Number 3.
Number 3, that's good. Where is Madeline?
Here.
What number you on?
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay, that's good. And where's Herman? Herman, what number you on?
Answering number 3.
Answering number 3. Asia, what number you on?
About to send you my work.
Okay, that's good. Lincoln, what number you on?
Number 3.
Number 3, that's good. Tajane, what number you on?
I'm on number 5.
Number 5, that's good. Lincoln, what number you on?
Number 3.
Number 3, okay. And Allura, what number you on?
I'm still on the note.
7 notes. Trinity, what number you on?
Number 4.
Number 4, okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Go ahead.
I'm on number 4 now,
That's
writing
good.
the answer.
Okay, that's good. Asia, what number you on?
I'm on number 6.
Number 6, okay.
I'm done with number 4, Mr. Petit.
If you finish 1 through 4, take a picture of your work and send it to me. If you finish 1 through 4, take a picture of your work and send it to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Again, if you finish 1 through 4, take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp. Again, if you finish 1 through 4, take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp.
I sent you my work, Mr. Petit. Did you see it?
Yes, I did. The rest of you, take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp. Thank you, Vanette.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Uh-huh.
I'm done.
All right, good. Take a picture of that.
Excuse me, Mr. T.
Go ahead.
My power just went off and I got disconnected from the internet.
Okay. All right, we saw over. Take a screenshot of it quickly before you have the notes. I mean, you have the questions. Ready, finish them?
My mom took a picture of one of them already.
Okay, good. Perfect. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and answer these, saying that it's that time. All right, let's go ahead and answer these. Number 1, metals are lustrous. Give another word for lustrous.
Shiny. Shiny.
Shiny.
Shiny.
Shiny, very good. Shiny. Number 2, what does it mean for a metal to be malleable? What does it mean for a metal to be malleable?
It means that
It would
It
not
can be
shatter.
hammered
they
and
will be shattered if
are
burned.
not brittle.
Not
Yes.
fragile.
If it's
They
if
are
it's
not brittle.
If it's malleable, that means it's not brittle, and that means it could be hammered into sheets.
It's not fragile.
Right? Yeah, it's not fragile. It could be hammered into sheets. All right? How many persons have that? How many of you have that?
Wet.
You
I
do?
have it.
I got that.
Good.
I have it.
Good. What is the name of the first royal governor?
Wood Rogers.
Woods
Rogers.
Rogers. Woods Rogers. And who appointed him?
Rogers.
Who appointed
King
him?
John. King
King
George
George
the
the First.
King George the
First.
King George the First. Very good.
First.
How many persons got that? Let me know if you got that, please.
I got that.
I got that.
I got that.
Good. And then if you got it, please put a tick. If you got it wrong, please make the correction. And finally, state 2 problems that Nassau faced before the arrival of the
There
first
was
royal
no
governor.
There was no government.
There was no
and
government.
completely
The
different.
land and sea was overrun by pirates.
There was no government. The land and sea was overrun by pirates. We only had a few inhabitants, and garbage was almost everywhere. The roads were overgrown. Nassau was defenseless. If you have any two of them, then you could mark it right. Madeline, you have any two of them?
No, sir.
Or you didn't reach the number 4 yet?
I was writing down number 5.
Oh, he's right now number 5. You didn't write down number 4?
I did. I just didn't answer it
You
yet.
don't answer it yet. Okay, answer them for me, please, and then let your mommy take a picture of the notes, okay? All right, and Lincoln, did you get number 4 right?
I didn't get to number 4.
You didn't get the number 4, so you need to answer number 4, and then send the notes to me, okay, Lincoln?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna call it the end for this week, and I'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye, Miss Petit. Thank you.
Thank you too. Take care. Thank you. Take care, Madeline. All right.
Bye, Mr. Petit.
All right. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.
Thank you for teaching our class today.
Thank you too. All right. Take care, everyone.